wherever you are in the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. And welcome to Bradford City vs Man City under-21 post-match chat and any other City-related stuff. I'm joined by Stan at the minute. How are you getting on, Stan?
Yeah, not too bad, Johnny. How are you?
Sound, mate. Just got back from football. Enjoyed the game. We played well.
Yes, we did.
And Tyler Smith, first half hat-trick. What's going on? And we scored from a corner.
Yeah, well, I think quite a few things. I mean, we played a kind of technically good Man City youth side or under-21s or whatever it was, but I think it was, for most part, in that first half, men against boys, wasn't it? And it was good for Tyler to get some goals, get his confidence up, and also, we talked about him the other day, didn't we, about him being an off-the-shoulder kind of player.
Yep.
And pretty much that's how he scored his goals, was literally being an off-the-shoulder kind of player. So, so it was it was good. Some good performances all round. I mean, it's different, isn't it? Because it's a very different game to the League Two sort of style. But I think lots of positives from tonight.
And we also are joined. 2 seconds. I was upstairs. Where are we? And we also joined by regulars Raj and Diane.
Yep.
So start off with Raj. What's your thoughts on the game?
I wasn't at the game tonight because I had a few family situations. So I've read like updates on what's gone on, and it seems like it's been a very good performance from the team. And obviously, it's nice to see Tyler Smith, who we talked about the other day. About how he started, and we knew that he's got that pace. He's got hat-trick, so that's a positive for us going into the next set of games, knowing that hopefully this could well kickstart his season.
And what about you, Diane?
I loved it.
I know you were at the game today. You gave me a wave.
Did.
I saw you in your coat. You gave me a wave.
I was bloody cold. It was cold. It wasn't fair. No, I thought it was a good game. We played really well.
Who was your man of the match, Diane?
Tyler Smith, definitely. His hat-trick were good.
Yeah. As they say, a striker breeds of scoring goals, and that will help for whoever the new manager is to help maybe Smith play up from with Cookie.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah, definitely. Just see what happens on Saturday now.
That's it. Over to Mark Truman now. Is he?
Yep.
What do you guys make of that situation, this announcement this evening, and what's your thoughts on it, and what's your take, everyone?
It's a bit of a strange one. I think we had probably had a manager lined up, but then I'm thinking something must have happened.
Yeah.
To get the caretaker.
Yeah.
Bit of a strange one. Rumours galore at the game today. I saw people saying that they saw him who used to manage Southampton was about, but apparently, apparently he was with Mark Lawn in Mark Lawn's box. Okay. So he could do 2 and 2 and equal 5 with that.
I somebody messaged me to say they said that Paul Jewell was there. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Paul Jewell.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody messaged me said they heard that Paul Jewell were there.
Well, if it was 2001, he'd be good enough, but not now.
I know.
But I also want to speak about the savoury incident. I think what happened on about the 75th minute. It has now been confirmed by McDonald that it was a racist incident at the ground by, I think, one of our fans behind the dugouts to a Man City player.
Disgusting, isn't it?
I could find out properly what that is, but I'm not going to say how I could find out.
These people will never learn. They need lifetime bans, these kind of people. I mean, after what happened at Omar Bogle on Saturday, that was a disgrace within itself. And if this is another kind of incident, which it well could be, I don't know how bad it is, but if that's the case, then the club need to act now and get some action in place against this person. and issue a ban with the immediate effect, because Bradford does not tolerate racism, full stop.
No.
Should be easy to find, though, shouldn't the person who's done it?
Yeah.
I thought they had found them, but they can't have done.
I'm sure the club will do the right thing, because they're a good club in that respect, and not, like you say, there's no place for cretins like that. So just basically get him banned, and then the less said about idiots like that, the better, and don't give them the oxygen.
No.
We're a family club, and we always have been.
Exactly.
So moving on from that incident, we'll go on to just a quick look at the Northern Group F League.
We've qualified.
So we've qualified. So Barnsley on 6 points, Bradford on 6, and Man City and Grimsby are now knocked out.
So
who do you hope will get in the next round?
Well, we'd like to finish top of the group, because that will help us get a better draw, I'd imagine. So we've got some.
Do we play one more game?
Yeah, we've got
Barnsley at home on the 14th, mate.
That's depending on the replay with FA Cup.
Yeah, that's true as well. Yeah, before tonight, like Diane said, we had 4 games in a row at home coming up.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Exciting.
Not that I know all this.
Exciting times for people who love to come to Valley Parade, which we all do. So there you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see.
So guys, then obviously, as you said, Raj and Diane, there's lots of rumours flying around. But in terms of the situation as a whole, it doesn't breed confidence, does it? Because you think, it was sacked on the 4th with no apparent thought of who's going to take over. And also you think, well, there's going to be no budget, because getting rid of Hughes is not going to be cheap.
Nope.
As I kind of said the other day,
the other night,
the loss of sacking Derek Adams. So if you think of Sparks' record, as has been mentioned, he basically gives Stuart McCall a new contract and sacks him, gets in Truman and Sellers, then demotes them, brings in Derek Adams, sacks him, costs us money. He gets lucky with Mark Hughes, and for most part did well, but then sacks him when there's just a little bit of disquiet in the stands, and now we're left where Big Kev's done a great job for us in this short period of time. And for me, I said at the start when he became caretaker manager that he's too good a player. I'd love to see him play, but obviously it's too much for him to play and manage at the same time. And I think that was probably apparent at MK Dons.
Yep.
So where do we go from here? Because obviously they've released a statement, and as somebody said, to release it just minutes, however many minutes there were before a game, is basically just smacks of almost desperation. And so what do you think is going on, and where do we go from here? And I'll open up to you again.
I'll start first, and Dan will give her input like she does as well. I think after reading that statement this evening, it was a bit of a shock for it to come out just before the game, because I think they felt the kind of social media pressure from the fans, and they will have been aware of it with all the posts and everything, like you said the other day, Stan, with what's been posted on our hashtag. So maybe they've kind of thought we need to come out and give some clarity to the fans, because it's just been non-stop manic on our hashtag for the last few days with people just being impatient. So they've probably obviously released a statement, and they've obviously then said that they're in the final stage process of narrowing it down to whoever they want to recruit. And then obviously Truman's got the job now until next week, I think. And I think before the Barrow game, the appointment will be made. So I think that's what's happened. So it's just kind of delayed the process by another week. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Over to you.
Yeah, I only just read it on my way to the game, like everybody else, just saying about that Matt Truman had got in, Kevin's gone back to playing. But it's like they're saying they're down to the final interviews, but it's just, I think, like you said, Raj, that I think because everybody's been speculating who it's going to be, they've had to put something out.
That's it.
They've had to put the statement out and say, right, this is what's happening now. Because I think Kevin's probably said, look, I just want to get back to playing.
And I can't wait to see Kevin back playing. It's going to be great. So we're happy with that.
I can't, and I hope he plays on Saturday.
Definitely.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Do you think then in that context that the conversation that, because if an announcement is going to be made, then you think, well, why not just get Kev to play the one more game on the Saturday rather than, because I mean it kind of strikes of amateur hour, doesn't it? In terms of we've got a caretaker manager, but we'll not get rid of him, but we'll give it to another one who's going to be a caretaker manager. I think it is desperation. I think you guys are right in terms of the reacting to the fans, and that could have been avoided days and weeks ago just by saying you only need one statement midweek saying, look, we've got a process, we've got a large field, bear with us.
Yep.
And in the meantime, Kev will be caretaker, and we will get this situation resolved as soon as possible. So I think I don't know. Yeah, I mean, obviously, the question is I'm assuming this is coming. Well, Sparks has to bear the brunt of the blame because he is the CEO, and as always in organisations, it kind of the buck stops with the top man, or at least in somebody in that position. So, is he out of his depth, or he's clearly panicking, and I've said he kind of needed to grow a spine in terms of just holding out with the Hughes situation. But
do you think there's going to be like a takeover attempt?
Well, that's been rumoured as well, hasn't it? And like,
someone said.
Sorry, guys. In that is quite feasible, but then with the situation as is in terms of announcing, kind of sort of switching around. I wonder whether it's down to the fact that as a club we should be an easy club to sell, but maybe when you're talking about the way the club is run, or the kind of the parameter under the parameters that it's run by the people in charge or the person in charge, that it's kind of like harder to convince somebody who maybe has got something a bit more about them as a manager.
Yeah. Somewhat doesn't seem to add up in it, like you're saying. It's, I think he's losing the kind of the mental capacity to be a CEO for me. A lot of people are kind of losing their faith in him. Looking at all these polls that have been going about on the hashtag, so I don't know really what to say anymore. It's just like, I just seem like we need a new direction. A new CEO is needed, like with Sparks. I think he needs to just step down at some point. It's just not good enough anymore for me.
Yeah, somebody said because Dave Baldwin's left Huddersfield Town, hasn't he?
Yeah. To bring him back.
Yeah, that's what people are saying.
One thing about Dave Baldwin, and you know yourself, guys, everyone, even Diane, he didn't take no passengers, and he was a smooth CEO. He was good.
He was very good, wasn't he, for us? Absolutely good for.
I'd love to get him back.
Yeah.
Do you think then the only way he's coming back is maybe under a new owner?
Take off. Yeah, that's what it'll be.
Because, obviously he's got to rule with his head and not just his heart. We're all Bradford City fans, but, he's also a businessman, and it's the second...
when...
Go ahead, Raj.
When Dave Baldwin left us, did he go to Burnley?
I think he did, yes. He did go to Burnley. I think he was probably headhunted for Burnley because he'd done so well at Bradford City.
We had the other lad leave us as well.
James Mason.
God bless him. Another young lad who's gone presser for Burnley. What was his name? The lad who used to do the programmes. They took him as well, didn't they? The young lad who just fought cancer, good lad, Ellis. They took him as well.
I don't remember that, but well remembered.
He's a good lad. He used to be part of that same contingent, so he went to Burnley as well. Good lad, good work at Ellis. Yeah, he's still about. I think Baldwin and her at a similar time, and Ellis was part of that contingent. So it just shows you Baldwin's recruitment within, you know what I mean, from top to bottom, it seemed very good. Even we had a good presser guy that Burnley took,
Yeah.
I mean, a good program guy, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah. Just to read out messages. There's a message in from Alex Rupp out saying, Sparks wouldn't, in my opinion, be appealing to work under. Very panicky due to worrying about season ticket sales, making a large amount of revenue. So, yeah, that is probably a good shout. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that's the reason why.
I think he should personally go back to the what do you call it, sector? Where he came
the
from.
commercial,
Media sector. The media sector.
media.
Yeah, the
Put it back
commercial.
there and bring in someone who can do it. Cause I know I don't know the guy, but I know he's getting quite a lot of hate on social media at the minute. But basically, if you don't speak to your manager above, or you speak to your manager above, sometimes it's a bit of an hard one, isn't it? Because like the guy who's like the chairman and owner, if you speak to him regularly, or if you never see him personally, it's a bit of a tricky one, isn't it, for the CEO?
Well, I'll raise a tweet. I'll find it if you bear with me, but carry on. But it's about basically somebody laying the blame with Rupp in that he's allowed himself to be almost had the wool pulled over his eyes by, first of all, Rahic, and secondly, Ryan Sparks telling him probably what he wants to hear. Or, it's kind of, so in that respect, I mean, that's an opinion, and there's always that element of how much is Sparks telling Rupp in terms of what's going on, how much is he sugarcoating it. We don't know. This is obviously speculation on our part, and we're all kind of coming up with hypotheses in terms of what we think is going on. But there's clearly something not right, isn't there, in terms of off the field. And we've been looking in that, Tech Hughes sacking aside, that the players have respected Kev McDonald, and that, I am actually glad to, like you said, Raj, glad to see him back now playing for us, because I think he's just cut above.
I think he's going to help us, especially in our midfield. I mean, obviously Richie's done well, but with Kevin Arnold coming back in, it's going to be a real big boost to our midfield. It's going to give us something else that not many have got in that middle of the park. He's got footballing brain, he's got great ability, and and the experience is going to help. I think it could revitalise our season. Really do.
Definitely.
I've got nothing but good words to say about Kevin McDonald, and for me, it's before he basically kicked a ball in anger for us. I saw him warming up. It was on the bench. I can't remember which game it was. I think we won one of the early games in the season. It was as to do at half time where they're warming up, and just the way he made contact with the ball, and you could see the way the ball left his foot and went to somebody that he actually wanted it to go to. I thought, wow, look at the way this guy kicks a ball. This guy has played at a high level, and I thought, yeah, this guy is really good, and he's different gravy, as they say. And
do you remember his pass in Newport match?
Yep.
One of these. Was that for
it was, and also the Stockport game when he put Cook through.
Yeah. That last minute.
It was late on, wasn't it? And obviously at that point, I think Cook had just missed a penalty, or they'd equalised it.
He went around him or something.
And but it's his body shape, it's his body position, where he will just step back and give himself that yard of space to receive the ball in very short space of time. And the guy's cut above.
Stan, people, even the Exeter City fans were saying he played 11 times for them last season, and when he didn't want to stay on to come to Bradford City when he signed a 2-year contract, they were a bit gutted. They were saying he's class above. Even they were saying that what a signing he is. That's what they were saying on their Twitter.
So we've had another message come through from Sam hashtag Roop out. There's quite a lot of Roops out. Should we utilise Smith in the game versus Wickham?
Definitely.
Yeah, I'd start with up front with Cook. They have to go 2 up top.
I would.
I'd love to see that.
I don't have no problem with that. I would almost be tempted to give Cook a rest. Well,
true.
just because I think he's been. I mean, he did score, so maybe that's not the case. But I think it's again what Hughes did really well last season was manage Cook.
He rotated
him, and it's a case of just put on Smith and just give Cook a little message that you've been at your best for us when you've been under that little bit of pressure in terms of having something to prove.
So you think we should go 4-4-2?
I would personally, but I don't think it's going to happen.
That's never going to happen in the modern game, is it? Really?
Yeah, no. Unless we bring back Paul Jr.
Yeah,
that was a rumour.
Yeah, that was an early rumour tonight.
You said it now, Diane. Bookmakers have been going mental. Money coming in for Paul.
Oh, it was my mate that told me, that messaged me.
No, I mean, all the bookies are listening to this live space now as we speak, and they're trying to get the word on the street.
Worldwide.
And
I'll tell you what, just put me down. I'll become manager of Bradford City.
Exactly.
I don't get dropped.
I don't think 4-4-2 he's played much these days, is it? Kind of as somebody said a little while ago, I can't remember where it was, but 4-2-3-1 seems to be the sort of more or less the formation at this level, doesn't it? And it's interesting because the modern game does tend to be with just the one striker as well at the moment, doesn't it? It kind of it goes through phases, and
it's like you say, it's a 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, whatever you know.
Yeah, exactly.
How did Chappie play tonight, and how many minutes?
He played very well.
He did.
Yeah, that's
he
good.
got 45
How many minutes did he get? That's good.
He looked. Yeah. And obviously the right thing was to.
What about?
Go ahead, Raj.
Richards was back, wasn't
he? He played well.
That's good.
He came on and nearly scored. I think he put a bit too much swivel on it though, like on them TikTok videos, too much swizz, and it should have gone in, but he put too much curl on it.
I thought Tomkinson didn't do too bad either because he
did very well. He did very well, Tomkinson. He's again, it's only against Man City's kids. However, he looked mobile, didn't he?
Yeah.
Looked very mobile. He pretty much dealt with everything. I mean, he didn't really have an aerial threat because Man City aren't obviously that sort of side. But he dealt with mobile players. His positioning was very good. He was quick to the ball. There was just one time where he got himself out of position in one little incident in the second half, but I thought he did very well. But he also brought the ball out of defence very well as well. Some of the passes he made through into midfield were quite incisive, and I would happily put. And I thought Kieran Kelly did very well.
Yeah,
he's a good player, Kieran Kelly. He always gives 100%.
Yeah,
and I like it, the fact that he's versatile as well.
He is, isn't he?
Yeah.
And so, what do you think of the midfield too, guys?
They were good.
With Smallwood and young Jeffries.
Yeah, I think they played well.
How did young Jeffries play, Diane? Was he very good?
It was. When I put my glasses on, because I couldn't really recognise them all.
Yeah.
I had to put glasses on.
Yeah, but was he good? Yeah, he put himself apart because I'm again, from what I know, and I think we were saying this on the podcast on the other day, he seems another player for the future, young Jeffries. So that's good news.
Yeah.
Definitely.
There were a couple of scouts at the game as well.
Were they? What were they singing?
Scouts.
Oh no, were they? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, that could be anybody, couldn't it? It could be Bobby. It could be any of the Man City players.
Yeah.
You remember when I said to you about Bobby's situation? If I am Stanley correct, if someone wants to do this research, I believe that he was only given a 1 year deal.
He was, because I checked it last night on the website on Bradford City. He was only given a 1 year deal.
So we need a new contract, guys.
Yeah. If Sparks does one thing, He's got
to get that right.
He's got to get that right with Bobby because
if not, he could end up in League One. I'm telling you now, it happens all the time.
Yeah, I mean, you hope that his family around him are going to say, obviously, you'd be better off getting full game time with Bradford City. But Sparks has got to be down in that office as soon as possible, and he's got to be giving Bobby a contract.
Yeah, it always seems to happen to Bradford City. We get good players, and we always seem to sell them.
Well, I think that's the model, though, isn't it? That's what we've done over the years in terms of how we've kind of kept afloat, really, with your McBurneys and your Naki Wells, etc. Which, at this level, it's always going to be likely that it's going to be the case.
I personally believe, obviously, Bobby will sign the deal if it's offered to him, like you said the other day, Stan. It's because he's a Bradford lad.
Yeah.
So that will happen unless there's major interest, which you never know. Again, I never say never in football.
Yeah, and picture yourself as a 19-year-old kid and some top-end League One club comes in for you. Be very tempting and very hard to say no at this point. I mean, we'd all like to think if you were in that position yourself, you'd maybe stay for another year playing regular football, but then again, none of us are a 19-year-old Bradford City fan playing for your hometown team. So in that respect, it's very, very difficult to say how he'll go. He seems to have a good head on his shoulders and a really good family network around him. So let's hope for his sake and for our sake that he signs at least a 2-year deal, maybe a 3-year deal.
Yeah.
So is there anyone else out there that has anything to say with regards to what's going on off the field or the game tonight?
Anyone feel free to join the convo out of these guys that are in this guest room.
So, just looking at the match stats from Sky Sports, we had 40% possession, Man City had 60. We had 9 shots, they had 13 shots. We had 5 on target, they had 2 on target. 2 off target, they had 8 off target. 2 bookings for those 3 for them.
Oh, they
passing 84.6, theirs were 90. And we've had 3 corners compared to their 6. And we 69.6 tackles,
right,
and they had 80. Aerial duels, we had 30, they had 70. So we did play well. In that way, we seemed to play well.
Who was your guys' man of the match? You 3 were there at the game tonight when you.
I watched it on iFollow, so
give me all right. You still watched it. Give me your man of the matches, all 3.
Easy one, Smith.
Yep, right. I agree.
Ted him a new one.
He's got a hat trick. It puts you up there, doesn't it? So.
Anyone else up there who did well as well, apart from Smith?
I think the whole team really did well. Especially in the first half, I think we'd already won the game, and we in the second half we had our moments, but we just let them have possession, I think, and just a lot of their passing was kind of that, obviously that Guardiola sort of style passing. So it kind of skews the stats a little bit because it was all mostly in front of us. So. Yeah.
You know what, guys? I got my wish. At least Colin Doyle got another game, which
was good, and he played well.
Yeah, he did. He was spot on. He was.
That's good.
His positioning was excellent, and he was basically mopping things up, and nothing fazed him. But he's been one of our best keepers for a long, long time. So.
Yeah, all I can say is about one of the Man City players that went from one half to the other and just missed that goal near the end. That was a good run from one of the Man City players.
Yes.
How did the guy that from Brentford that we got on loan, the right back? I don't know.
Danny Oyego.
How did he play? Tonight?
He did play all right. I think he's probably more suited to that kind of style of play because.
Yeah.
It was less of a physical game. It was kind of, for me looking at it, it was more like an under-23s game in the in that you imagine that's how a couple of 23 side would play, and that seemed to suit Oyegoke. Obviously, I think when it's like real men come in, it's a different proposition. But he also played at right back, which is his position as well. So
that's where he's naturally better.
He did well. He did well. I think Brad is still the man. Brad's player of the season for me.
Brad's the ever reliable. He gives 100%. He's been good this season, and not only last season. You know what you're going to get with Brad. 7 out of 10 upwards every week.
Exactly. So I'll put this out to everyone then. Who's your player of the season so far?
Bobby Point and mine.
Yeah,
he's like the shining beacon of hope in the dismal season we've had. He's gonna go with us, hopefully stick with us, and just basically grow and become a really good player.
There's one thing I'd protest about would be that, making sure I get that deal sorted.
Definitely.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think Brad is player of the season, so far. But I think Bobby's you're only 1%. It's almost neck and neck between the two, really, in terms of. But Brad, for his consistency and basically seeing off a signing, albeit a loan signing, and kind of making that position, cementing that position. And like Raj said, and I agree, he's been 6, 7. Well, no, sorry, he's been 7 out of 10 pretty much every week.
Yeah.
So Nige on Twitter has just put, cheers Kevin McDonald for stepping up and doing a job while others hide away. He's won 4, drawn 1, lost 2, all comps. I think that's right. 57.1% win rate.
I mean, that's decent, isn't it? So
great return, isn't it?
Anyone got anything else they want to say?
Quick 2 minutes on Wickham, if you want. Are you going to do a podcast for that in a few days? I'd imagine you will, won't you? So we can.
Yeah, we'll be doing that at 7. Get it in your diary, Raj. 7 p.m. Friday, bud.
I'll be ready for that.
And also on the podcast going forward, just trying to get his name up. I know there's a guy on social media. I think he's going to start doing them. Where is it? Let me just find him. Messages. Where's it gone? I think he's called The Parade.
Yeah.
Parade.
Yeah.
I think he's starting up, guys. So I think after the game on Saturday, I think he might be starting one.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't do one, or if he doesn't do one on Tuesday, if you guys are happy to join, I'll
do one.
Do one.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Right.
Pleasure, guys. Have a good evening. Have a good night, and on to Wickham. Let's do this and try and get through to the next round.
Definitely, should do.
Have a good rest of the night, everyone.
Right, that time again. I'm going to say thank you, everybody, for joining. Stan, Diane, Raj, thank you. Wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Also, this podcast will be on all podcast services, YouTube, search the Braceodge. Also, we're on Facebook, Bradford City Up the Chickens. Thank you, and good night.